Take 3, babe. And action.
Are we working? Are we streaming? How come it's not showing on your thing?
There might be a lag, but it should work now.
Okay. Hey guys, we trying a new. This is for the third take to see if this is actually working. I don't know if it's actually working, but we want to start live streaming more on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And this stuff is a little hard. I don't know how people do it all the time.
It's
but
not hard.
Are we making it harder?
I think you were making it harder. It was working before. So
okay. I just couldn't see it.
We just have to know that there's a lag.
I just couldn't see it on Instagram when I used my phone. That's all.
I get it.
That was the only reason. But hey, we here. We out here.
Yeah.
I'm Dr. Nee.
Dr. Renee.
Yeah, we are live in After Dark. Kids are asleep. And we want to talk about some stuff.
Yeah, we want to talk about some of the ish on our feed.
Who's watching us? How do we know who's watching us?
I don't know. Let's just do the live, and then if nobody watching, it's
somebody
okay.
on Facebook is watching us.
It's probably me signed in.
Oh, it's your mom.
My mom on Facebook.
All right. So what are we talking about?
So we're going to talk about some things that, we've seen on our feed. There's a lot going on out there in the world. Some things that are real heavy. Some things that are really light.
Let's keep it light.
You want to keep it light?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to share my screen and see what comes up for us.
Don't share all your tabs.
So what happened?
I said, don't share all your tabs.
All my tabs going to be showing on Instagram. I mean, basically on Instagram.
Recently, when I received an email from the college regarding the upcoming semester fees, I responded, but they should direct any further inquiries to Cindy. Right. Cindy called me screaming and crying and accusing me of being cruel and heartless for cutting her off. She says that her family couldn't afford the tuition and that she would have to take out a loan. I told her she's not my concern anymore, and I blocked her. This decision has caused a rift among my friends and family. While most of them support my decision, some have criticized me for not honoring my previous promise to Cindy. Even my own mother's urging me to reconsider, citing my past promise and the fact that paying for Cindy's education wouldn't be a financial issue for me. Truthfully, I have the means to pay for Cindy's entire medical school education without difficulty, but I can't shake the feeling of betrayal caused by Claire's cheating and Cindy's complicity. But I feel conflicted. So am I the asshole? Nope. Am I the asshole?
So?
Well, you have to stop sharing.
Well, so is he the a-hole? No, they can see us. Is he the a-hole?
Oh, they can still see us?
Yeah.
Hell no, he's not the asshole.
Why not?
I definitely wouldn't pay for her.
You wouldn't pay?
No, so let me just make sure I'm correct. Cindy is his ex-wife.
Yes.
Claire is the sister. And Claire is the one that he's supposed to be paying tuition to, right?
Yeah. Tuition for, yeah.
Absolutely not, yo. I'm sorry. But if she is complicit and not saying anything, that bank of Nee Darko would be closed. Hell to the no.
So you wouldn't pay for my sister?
Absolutely not. No. If she was complicit in letting you cheat, no, absolutely not. Nope.
So
I guess you're going to have to go to the bank and get your own loan because you ain't getting it from me.
So what was she supposed to do? What was she supposed to do?
So, okay. So here's the thing, right? Like the way how I look at it is once you marry someone, you become family, right? And in family, you're not supposed to have like favorites, right?
Okay.
So you chose your favorite by deciding to side with your sister.
Okay.
And that inevitably caused the destruction of our relationship. This relationship is done. So we don't have any type of, now that we're done and we're not married anymore, there is no like, what's the word?
Loyalty?
Well, it's not even loyalty anymore. Now it's, are you going to keep your word in terms of providing education to her, or providing a financial means for her? That's gone, right?
Okay.
So I would say, no, I don't owe you anything.
Okay.
I would have preferred if you helped me maintain my relationship with, my wife at the point. But
no, but that's what I'm asking. What do you think that she should have done? Because if she had divulged that information, right, then potentially that might have ruined the relationship that she has with her sister.
Yeah, I got it. But because she didn't say anything, it made the...
Well, we don't know that she didn't say anything to her sister. We don't know that she didn't say anything to her sister. I mean, she could have said something to her
What does
sister.
complicit mean? Did he talk about what she did, the sister did?
I forget.
Because that's the key. Like,
if she was helping arrange the secret rendezvous.
How complicit is complicit?
Well,
either way, no.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I don't agree with you.
No for
I
me.
agree with you. I do agree with you.
I know, but I know your questions will kind of help to possibly sow seeds of doubt, but there ain't no doubt for me. Once we got the deed, the divorce, we done.
That was it.
That was it. It. Here's your FAFSA.
Right. So what's her name? Cindy? Cindy, I think is the sister's name. So Cindy gonna have to pay for her herself.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
No, I mean, I agree with you. I think that once that relationship is done, it's done. The only question is there a legal obligation because you already said that you were going to pay for it?
How can there be a legal? How can you put someone on the? How can you? I mean, there's no contract, right?
No, that's a verbal agreement. So that's a verbal agreement.
I understand that.
If I get into medical school, you will pay for it.
I understand that. Can that be legally backed? Can you take someone to court for that?
Well, I mean, you could take anybody to court for anything, but that actually might be legally binding.
Really? So if you promise to get something for somebody verbally, they can take you to court because you didn't get it for them? And they would win?
Possibly.
Based off of what?
Based on the fact that there was a meeting of the minds, right? There was a meeting of the minds about something. If I get into medical school, you agree to pay for that, right? I mean, it's like any other service, right? Like if I decide to be your wedding planner, you will pay me for that.
Yeah, but usually you're signing something, you're putting a deposit down.
Not always,
and so forth. But has somebody ever won that argument?
A verbal agreement?
Yes.
Yes, like, absolutely.
Where have you seen that?
In the absence? Well, you know what I was about to say. That's what I'm
about to ask because you go to Judge Judy all the time.
That's right, so Judge Judy.
I want to know, is that the case?
No, but if there is a meeting of the minds absent of a written contract, if there is a meeting of the minds, it is very possible that is legally binding.
So on Judge Judy, has that occurred?
Yes, absolutely. That happens all the time.
Give me an example real quick, if you can think of one.
That it happens that's most of her problems on the show. Yes, that is most of the cases on the show. Most of the cases on the show come about because people do not write written agreements. They don't have written agreements.
So then let me ask you this question. So then if a guy proposes to a woman and
that's a different story.
He gives her an engagement
ring. That's
a
different story.
Isn't the engagement ring on the premise that you are going to move forward with marriage?
Yes.
Okay. So then if the marriage doesn't go forth,
correct.
Right? If the marriage...
Then she has to give the ring back.
So she has to give the ring back, yes. Right? But I thought like it's a gift.
No. It's a conditional gift, right? It's a conditional gift because it's based on the premise that it will lead to a marriage, right? So for example, let's say they do get married, right? Let's say they do get married. It is possible that if the woman decides like, listen, I want to divorce you the following week, that she could keep that ring because she went through with the marriage, technically. Right. It's possible. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I can't say. I'm just saying that it is very possible that there could be some sort of...
So there's no room for reneging? I don't understand that part. You can't just say, I just don't want to pay anymore.
No, you can't do that. You have to have yet another meeting of the minds, or you now have to have something written. For example, if you have something written, right? If you have something written, once you have a written agreement...
I shouldn't let you watch Judge Judy all this.
Once you have a written agreement, according to Judge Judy, I'm not a lawyer, nobody come after me. But once you have a written agreement, you cannot go back and change that agreement verbally. You have to write something down. Something has to be written to prove that there was a meeting of the minds outside of the original written agreement. But if you do not have a written agreement, if it's just verbal, then yes, you can change the terms of that agreement.
What if it's not agreed upon? So what if someone says, hey, listen, like I ain't got the money anymore. Maybe I'll just pay like half a semester.
No, and then there was a meeting of the minds originally.
The person who's supposed to be getting that money says, yeah, no, I need the full amount.
Right.
And then the other person's like, I can't pay. So what happens then? This is all verbal.
Okay.
Yeah, stay close to the microphone.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Hold on. I don't even know if this is live. Hold on.
Are we not live, guys?
We might not be.
All this good conversation and we not live?
Hold on. Yay! We live now.
We weren't live before?
We were on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, we were on YouTube. But
Yo, everybody on Instagram, you missed out on so much good conversation, man. Oh my goodness. Damn. You missed out. Should we go back?
Hey, Dr. Russell Lade from New Orleans.
Hey, Dr. Russell, yo, thank you for those sweaters, yo. We rocked those sweaters on a live, and then we wore it to the SNMA conference.
Yes, we did.
Why, yes, we did. Dope. They were dope.
Baby. Is that how they say in New Orleans?
I'm not going to try to say anything that's going to make me sound crazy. But them sweaters was dope. Thank you. Thank you. Yo, let's start all over again real quick. Guys, I know on YouTube you saw us.
I don't know about YouTube.
You saw us talking about it, but hold on real quick. On Instagram, we're going to replay this.
Okay.
And then if you're seeing us on Instagram, so they're not seeing what we're seeing?
Wait, they're going to see it in a second. Hold on. You got to wait. All right. They're going to see it in a second.
Russell for refusing to pay for my ex-wife's sister's college. I, 30 male, was married to my ex-wife Claire, 28 female, for 4 years until I found out she had been cheating on me with an ex-boyfriend. During the divorce proceedings, I learned that Claire's younger sister, Cindy, 20-year-old female, had known about the affair but chose to keep quiet about it and helped Claire hide the affair from me and her family. Before all of this, I had promised to pay for Cindy's medical school cost as myself and my family are wealthy, and despite the divorce, I decided I was going to pay for her education, as at the time I felt I didn't need to punish Cindy for what her sister did. However, once I found out that Cindy was complicit in hiding Claire's infidelity, I felt betrayed and decided to revoke my offer. I told Cindy 8 months back that she would have to look for a loan I had already paid for 1 semester. Recently, when I received an email from the college regarding the upcoming semester fees, I responded, but they should direct any further inquiries to Cindy. Cindy called me screaming and crying and accusing me of being cruel and heartless for cutting her off. She says that her family couldn't afford the tuition and that she would have to take out a loan. I told her she is not my concern anymore, and I blocked her. This decision has caused a rift among my friends and family. While most of them support my decision, some have criticized me for not honoring my previous promise to Cindy. Even my own mother is urging me to reconsider, citing my past promise and the fact that paying for Cindy's education wouldn't be a financial issue for me. Truthfully, I have the means to pay for Cindy's entire medical school education without difficulty, but I can't shake the feeling of betrayal caused by Claire's cheating and Cindy's complicity. But I feel conflicted, so am I the asshole?
Nope. Okay, she's like, nope. So, what say you, Dr. Nee? What say you?
Of course, he's not the asshole.
He's not
an asshole. I wouldn't pay. So I'm glad that you replayed it, because the first time I heard it, I thought that she just kind of knew about it, but it's saying that she was complicit in helping hide the infidelity. So absolutely not. I ain't paying for jack. I ain't paying for nothing. Nary nothing. She ain't getting nothing. Nada.
So
no. I don't know why you would even offer that in the first place. First of all, he's a cornball anyway. So
I mean, probably because it was his wife's sister, and he felt like that was his sister, and he would do that for his family.
Well, you shouldn't pay for someone like entire education, because they got to have skin in the game anyway. So I wouldn't do that anyway. But anyhow, now that the relationship is over and they are divorced, dude, just run. Turn the other way. Ain't paying nothing.
So
no,
hold on.
He's not the asshole for thinking that. I wouldn't pay nothing.
So I don't disagree with you, but what
she was a part of it. She was a part of the whole scheme and the secrets and lies, and she probably helped usher in some things. No, not paying nothing.
I don't disagree with you. However, the only thing I would like to know is, yo, Cindy, what school you go to? Because we need to have you on the show.
Cindy not in school. That's why. Cindy's not in school. Right? You need to fill out a FAFSA.
I want to know
she need to
Cindy
get a FAFSA. You need to get a signature student loan.
You need to be beholden.
You should have said something. Because that's what I would have been. I'm like, yo, this dude is paying for my student or for my education. I can't do dude like that. I can't do dude like that.
I understand that, but would that have ruined the relationship between her and her sister?
It's possible. But she's got a relationship with her brother-in-law.
I mean, I understand that, but at this point, the relationship with her brother-in-law seems like it's only financial.
Well, at this point now, yeah, but she made it that way, right?
Right.
By choosing, she chose basically to hide infidelity. In essence, she's choosing her blood sister over her in-law brother, right?
Right.
When in essence, they should all be considered family, right?
Okay.
What's right is right, what's wrong is wrong.
Okay, so right? Would you ever out in a family member to an in-law?
Yes.
You would?
Because for me, what's right is right. And
really?
once they become part of my family, that's
really? Really?
Yeah. Especially if someone's paying my financial aid. Med school? Shoot. Yo, listen, sis.
Yo, let me come talk to you right
sis,
quick.
I know you saved me from the from the bully when I was 12, but listen, old dude, he gonna pay my student. Come on now, nah.
Yo, was y'all out your own sibling to an in-law? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. But when we actually went live, what we came in talking about was, is there potentially a legal standing for Cindy to now come back and be like, nah, dude, you owe me tuition because you said you were going to pay. And listening to it again, especially because he already paid the first semester.
Well, listen,
which means he started working in on that agreement.
You watch Judge Judy, and I don't know if that's even. Can you even bring that in? Like, is that really like real law? Is that real law?
Of course, it's real law.
I don't know if I would rely on that.
It's legally binding.
But they agree to whatever she says, right?
They do agree to whatever she says.
So it's almost like, is this like a kangaroo court, and they just like,
well,
whatever
no,
she agrees to?
Her cases are supposed to be real. So they take them from the dockets of like different like small claims courts.
Okay.
And stuff. So most of the cases are real. Every now and then she's kind of like, yeah, I don't believe this case.
So the question I have for her is, if this, because she basically, Renee's talking like, yo, if you have a verbal agreement with someone, can you be held like legally liable to still pay that person's tuition? I'm like, hell no. She's like, well, legally, yes.
No, I said legally, maybe.
I don't know. I said legally, maybe. I don't know.
Because if there's a meeting of the minds and you have a verbal agreement, and the verbal agreement says, if you make it to medical school, I will pay your entire tuition. That's like, for example, if you win the lottery, I will give you half. And then you win and I don't give you half. What happens?
I don't know.
I think people go to court and people actually win. Because if anybody has seen that, there is a verbal agreement.
I don't feel like doing the research in that. If someone has seen that, just put it in the show notes or something like that. Is there a way we can see notes and stuff? Or
yeah, we can see some notes. Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know about any of that stuff. All I know is that I verbally say stuff to people all the time.
And I do
not expect them to come back. Like I tell people on Instagram all the time, if you listen to Docs Outside the Box, I'll give you $20. Right?
And no, but you're not there's no one person that you're saying that to.
Huh?
There's no one person that you're saying that to. Now everybody gonna go and take you to Judge Judy Justice now, which I don't watch. I like Judge Judy.
I'm interested in what people think about this, because I don't think this is hard at all. I think that once you get a divorce, and also you throw on first of all, once you get a divorce, that's it. You're not like the whole thing about family and the obligations with family, that kind of goes out the window, right?
Yeah, we know you.
And then the other thing that is like, well, she was complicit in this. It's like now you add on like the oil and the flames
let's say
to make
she
it
came
worse.
to you. Let's say she came to you.
Actually, hold on. Why don't you give your opinion without?
I said I agree with you.
So you wouldn't pay?
I wouldn't pay.
Okay.
Absolutely. But let's say she came to you. And she was like, yo, Renee creeping on you, yo. What would you do?
Then
would you pay?
Yeah, I'd be like, yo, if it turns out to be true, it's almost like, like the tip line, right? Like, yeah, like this is contingent on if the tip is correct. And if I find out that she, shaking and moving behind my back, then yes. Sis, I got you. Thank you so much. All these different things. You saved me all this heartache. What's 200? How much is it? It would have been like, he's wealthy.
Yeah, so he's wealthy. So it's like a drop in the bucket.
It probably would have been 250, stacks. He got it. Boom. Move on. Maybe. Okay. Actually, to be honest with you, if I got a divorce and she gave me that information, maybe I'd say, look, I'll just pay your first 2 semesters.
That's messed up, Nick. That's messed up. Now you wrong. You wrong for that. No. You wrong for that. But anyway, so that was the first thing on our feed. Okay. You wrong for that, but whatever.
What's the second one? Because we got to keep it moving.
Okay. What's the second? Oh, this thing. So if you could live your life again.
It doesn't show on YouTube.
Okay.
Are you sure you're sharing?
Oh, I'm not sharing. Ha ha! This is true. You right. Look at that.
Sorry, guys. We're not sharing on YouTube. We're going to
Where does that come from?
We'll start over. It's okay.
If I were to choose to live my life over again,
there we go.
I wouldn't live it in this way. Do you know Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not personally.
No. The book. The end of that book would bring tears to my eyes for years. Christopher Robin has to go to school, and he's telling his friends, the toy animals, that he won't be able to play with them so much anymore. And what I wasn't aware of when I went to medical school and when I was a physician is how driven I was to justify my existence in the world. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. When you're driven to work too hard, you actually ignore what matters. And what matters is what you were telling me last night about how every summer you take a bunch of weeks away from your podcast and you just spend time enjoying your kids and your wife and your family. I didn't do that. I always felt I had to keep working. And the book ends with the statement, and whatever they do or wherever they go in the enchanted forest, the little boy and his bear will always be playing together. And that phrase would bring tears to my eyes for years. People sacrifice their playfulness, their joyfulness, being driven by unconscious needs to validate your existence. And where does that come from? Again, that comes from childhood trauma. Play is so important, and joy is so important. In that sense, we can always keep playing in the enchanted forest, and that's just essential, I think. If I were to choose,
I think we get the point.
What did you think about that one?
I think so. It boils down to, you know, what I always say, which is like when you're giving advice to people, I think, you know, when you're 10 years out or you're 20 years out, it's like trying to talk to a medical student. Remember that post we did? Mm-hmm. You're trying to give advice to a med student. Mm-hmm. You're like, yo, don't stress so much about, you know, the match. And it's like the resident is going to be like, man, or the medical student is going to be like, listen, man, like you've been through this already. So of course it's not a big deal to you. But for me, like this is my like big issue right now. Of course it's going to be a big deal to me and stuff.
Right.
So I think that, yeah, I mean, obviously he has 50 year or 30 or 40 years of experience to go back and look back and say, yo, I made like the biggest mistake, and that is not connecting with my kids and all those different things. I think that goes without saying. And I think he's right. But it's really tough. It's really tough, right? Because you are, in essence, telling people who have delayed so much, and then they get to a point where they need to start working hard, making money and all those different things. It's like, yo, slow down, really focus on what's really important. When you trying to pay off student loan debt, you trying to kind of set your family up and yourself up in the future, it's really a tough thing. And basically what it boils down to is, listen, like, when do you want to hear this information? Right? Do you want to hear this information while you are in school? Do you want to hear this information right when the money's right in front of you? Or do you want to hear this information like halfway through the process? I think those are the important questions that I oftentimes think about. Is like, when are people most receptive to hearing this information? Right? Because if you tell a medical student this, they're going to be like, whatever, move on. That's how I think about it. Your thoughts?
I mean, maybe. I mean, I've always been a person to, you know, who kind of listens to people who are several steps ahead of me, so that I'm almost committing their mistakes vicariously, right? So if I hear someone say, like, man, I spent so much time, you know, just chasing my career, trying to justify my existence in the world based on this one aspect of who I am, then I'm more the person who's going to be like, ooh, you sound like you have a lot of regret, and I only got one life, and I just don't have room for that much regret in my life. So for me, honestly, I probably would have appreciated that even as a pre-med. I think I would have appreciated that. I do agree with you that there are people who are like, what are you, just an old man who's just whatever. But for me, that's where I would have appreciated that. But, you know, there's, you know, I think he makes such a great point about the fact that, you know, people work so hard to justify their existence. You know, they dedicate themselves so much to this one thing that they just can't see themselves as anything else. So even the life that they're quote unquote building outside of this thing called medicine, you know, being a husband, being a father, being a grandfather, being, you know, whatever else, you know, having some other skill, they compartmentalize that so much, and not just compartmentalize it, but they trivialize it as if it's not as important as this thing that I'm doing as a doctor. Like,
I think it's an addiction. I think that's what it
yeah,
is. It's
yeah.
an addiction where
Right. Career
it's almost
addiction.
You're addicted to success, and it's never enough.
Yeah.
Right. Like you look at some basketball players or even professional sports players, you know, they're playing 20 years in, and it's just like, well, so what's the
end goal here?
What's the issue, right? Like, because it's like, well, why won't you retire? Like, you have enough, I think, right? Like, you've made millions upon millions. You're in the hundreds of millions of dollars. You've gotten all these endorsements. Your family loves you. Like, why are you still playing? It's kind of like when we talked about Tom Brady. It's like, well, what exactly is driving you? Why is this still driving you?
Career addiction.
And I think, you know, from a doctor's perspective, it's tough, right? Because it's like, well, in order to be at the top of your game, or excuse me, a patient always expects you to be at the top of your game, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times being on top of your game requires long hours, sacrifice, being away from family, missing certain events, and so forth.
Yeah.
A lot of times that's to the detriment of your own personal.
Yeah, your own personal life.
Right. So that's the thing. A lot of times I'm wondering, like, would a patient be cool with like a doctor being kind of halfway in, halfway out?
Yeah.
You know? Or is it halfway in, halfway out?
Dr. Love says yes. Addiction to success is a thing. It absolutely is a thing. But Love,
like if you're balanced, I think the more important question is if you're balancing, right? If you're more balanced, are you halfway in, halfway out?
So I would say no. So Dr. Love probably remembers this, but we met an older gentleman who also is an OBGYN. We met him when we were in New Orleans. He was not at the SMA conference. He didn't know anything about the SMA conference. He was not at all involved in SMA. I don't even think he knew what SMA was. But he looked like us. And he was an OBGYN. And he said, you know, the only thing that's wrong with our profession, he's like, I'm just going to say this outright. He said, there's too many women in our profession of OBGYN.
He said that?
Yes, he said there's too many women. So I looked at him because I knew there was more ignorance about to come out of his mouth. And I was like, really? Why is that?
And he's about 30 years your senior.
Yeah, maybe not 30. I'd say probably about 20.
25.
Yeah, 25 years my senior. And so I said, really, why is that? He goes, because it takes two of you to do what one of me can do. And I said to Love, because Love was like, yo, what was that about? And I said to Love, I'm like, sound like he doing too much. If it takes one of him to do what two of me can do, dude, you doing too much. And I don't think that that's halfway in, halfway out. I think that there is such thing as doing too much and then actually devaluing what it is that you're doing, that you're not giving the right amount of care, the right amount of attention to things. And patients not only complain about it, but we also know, especially in maternal health, Black maternal health in particular, that this could be very detrimental, very, very dangerous, and have grave consequences. So yeah, maybe you're doing a little bit too much. I mean, this is what it is.
So you just turned from podcast to Claire Huxtable.
This is not a podcast. This is a live stream.
Let the record show and stuff. Ain't nobody talk about no maternal health and all that stuff.
And also let the record show that women physicians have better outcomes.
Oh, for the record, everybody. Okay. All of my doctors
So he doing too much.
All of my
and not doing it right enough.
We can't hear you if you're talking over.
Okay.
Yo, so for the record, all my doctors are women, and I must say I'm extremely happy. Like, they do a dope job. But yeah, when he made that comment.
Exactly, Love.
What did he say?
He said he lucky we was chilling. Because let me tell you, we wasn't chilling that day. And if he wasn't he lucky I respect my elders. I just kept my mouth shut. I was like, he an old man. He an old bitter man about to retire.
He sent him on his way.
And send him on his way. He's out to pasture. You know what I'm saying? You shoot him in the leg and let them bleed out slowly.
Well, I think bringing it back to what we was talking about, which is, do you have do you have any regret or anything like that? I think that the key question is, part of it is, medicine attracts these type of people, right? So like, that's just the way how it is, right? Like type A individuals who, they strived really well. They did well in high school, more than likely. They did really well in med school or in college. They did really well in medical school. And they strove to be the best, and as a result, like, these things occur, right? And because of how somebody did it before you're going to take on that personality, except for the millennials, right? They do things differently, right? But because they do things, how they were taught by the previous generation, that's how they're going to move forward and do things. So I think part of it is, that's how we recruit, right? No matter who it is, right? In medicine, right? These are the personalities that even I'm the same way. Like, I had to slow down and be like, yo, like, if I don't change course, I'm gonna end up either divorced, or my kids are gonna hate my guts.
Right.
So I gotta figure this out and figure out a way that I can be there for my patients, be the best surgeon that I can be, but also at the same time, be Dr. Dad, be the best husband I can be, which I am no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Because
somebody got to give you kudos.
I'm the best.
No, but seriously, at what point do you stop resume building is my question. At what point do you stop resume building, right? We had this conversation, me and you had this conversation maybe about 9-10 years ago, right? And the conversation came about because you were thinking about doing something extra or whatever. And I asked you, I'm like, at what point do you stop resume building? Like, the resume is built. Like, how much more do you need to do in order to prove to people that you are worthy? Like, for me, I stopped resume building, and I literally made a hard stop after I did my fellowship. I was like, I am no longer resume building. I'm stopping here. This is it.
But I think the times now are way better now. Like, people are really considering. They're not considering, like, if you stay in academic medicine, then in essence, you are resume.
Of course, you're always
you have to
resume.
You have to resume build, or you will perish. What do they say? Publish or perish.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it works there. But I think once you go into community type medicine, or into something outside of academic medicine, which I think a lot more people are going into, you start to realize that, hey, like, I'm competing against myself.
Yeah.
Right. And I think now you're starting to see much more. What's the issue now?
No, Love said, keep grinding. He going back to his job. It'd be at work. Stop looking at Instagram.
Oh, man.
In the ER.
But I do think that the whole resume building thing, that's something that people have to be really cognizant of. So,
hi, Aaron.
Who's that?
Aaron Brinkhouse.
Hi from California. What up? What up? What up? What up?
It's Aaron, right? Yes, Aaron.
Aaron who?
Is it Aaron Brinkhouse? I think it's Aaron.
I don't have my glasses on.
Tell me if it's Aaron.
But anyway, we have to actually end this very soon. So
really?
Yes,
you
we
didn't
do.
want to do one more?
No. We gotta end this. Guys, listen. You see this right here? This is part of me doing balance, yo. I am on the Future app. If anybody's using futureapp.co, it is dope. So I gotta work out. And I work out 6 days a week, including tonight. So I'm gonna get my workout on.
You want to do the challenger?
Oh, mine is dope.
No.
Is that the control?
No. Okay. We gonna have to work on that. We really gonna have to work on that.
That's what that is.
Oh my God. Oh, it's Isabel. No, don't go. I just joined.
Yo, we'll catch you. Listen, Isabel, we will be back. Just make sure you subscribe to our channel. We'll be back. But I gotta get my swole on. Come on now. I gotta get my swole on. That's part of my balance.
Stay on and talk bad about him.
That's part of my balance, all right, is making sure that I exercise. So y'all can catch me and follow me, or follow us on Instagram, follow us on YouTube, and you can also see us on, can they see us on Facebook also, right?
Of course they can see us on Facebook.
Yeah, we gotta do a better job. Somebody Darko's on. Who's that?
Darko? OB Darko. Are you family? Ooh. I don't know anybody named OB
Did I
Darko.
promise to pay your education? All right, y'all.
She's not gonna get it. She didn't see the first part.
She didn't see the first part. All right. Yeah. We gotta go, y'all.
Bye, guys. Wait, bye.